The last weekend in October was supposed to be a final escape before the snowfall began, before adult life chained them to desks and apartment leases and internships that led nowhere. Ethan, Priya, Malik, and Jenna had booked a remote Lakeside lodge in northern Michigan through an obscure rental website that offered no reviews, no host information, just 3 grainy photos and a cheap price. But the idea of escaping the city, the concrete, the sirens, the rot of daily life, it had been too tempting to pass up. They arrived on a Friday afternoon. The lodge looked abandoned, 2 stories of rotting pine, a sagging deck with a greenish hot tub, and a narrow dock that stretched into a misty black lake. Trees surrounded the property like sentries, tall and silent. There was no cell signal. The only radio station that came through the truck's speakers played old gospel hymns and native flute music. "This place is sketchy," Priya muttered as they unpacked. Ethan tried to laugh it off, slinging a cooler onto the deck. "It's rustic, that's the point. Ghost vibes." Jenna turned to Malik. "No ghosts," she said, "just stars, booze, and quiet." But that first night, there were no stars. A cloud cover rolled in from nowhere, blotting out the sky. They cooked dinner over the old fire pit and drank too much boxed wine. Around 11:30, they changed into swimsuits and slipped into the hot tub. The jets barely worked, but the green lights under the water flickered to life, giving the steam a toxic glow. The music played quietly from Ethan's Bluetooth speaker, old Arctic Monkeys and Lana Del Rey, echoing softly through the woods. Then the laughing stopped. Jenna saw him first. A man, bald, dripping, stood motionless at the edge of the deck, just behind the railing. He wore nothing but soaked boxers. His eyes were wide open but unfocused, his lips slightly parted, as though whispering something under his breath. "Guys," she whispered. "Look." All 4 turned and froze. The man didn't move. "Who the F *** is that?" Ethan whispered. "No idea," Malik said. "Did someone follow us here?" Priya shouted. "Hey, you lost man. This is private property." The man didn't respond. He just tilted his head, slow and unnatural, like a marionette strung by something unsure of human behavior. Then, without a word, he turned and walked back toward the woods, vanishing into the darkness as quietly as he'd appeared. "Call someone," Jenna said, reaching for her phone. "No signal," Malik reminded her. "Inside," Ethan said. "There's a landline in the kitchen." They stumbled out of the tub, shivering, hearts pounding. Inside the lodge, they locked the doors, checked every window, and tried the ancient rotary phone. Dead. No dial tone. Ethan searched the basement for weapons. Returning with a rusted hatchet, Priya found an old hunting rifle mounted on the wall, but the chamber was empty. They sat in silence for an hour, staring at the door. Nothing happened. By 2 a.m., they decided maybe the guy was just some drunk swimmer from another cabin, though none were visible for miles. Jenna, too tired to think, crawled into the downstairs bedroom and locked the door behind her. The others camped out in the living room. At 3:12 a.m., Jenna woke up gasping. Her room was freezing. The window locked when she'd gone to sleep was now wide open. Curtains fluttered like hands reaching. And she heard something, breathing, not outside, inside the room. She clicked on her flashlight. In the far corner, a puddle had formed. Her eyes followed the water trail along the wooden floor. The puddle ended at her bed. She flipped the covers off in panic. The sheets were wet, soaked from underneath. Then she saw the handprint, a long wet handprint pressed against the window pane on the inside. She screamed. The others bolted awake. Malik banged on her door, then kicked it open. Jenna sobbed, pointing to the window, the floor, the soaked bed. They saw it too. The handprint was nearly a foot long. Not quite human, not quite anything. "We're leaving," Malik said. Now, but when they got outside, the truck was gone. Tire tracks led down the dirt driveway, then simply stopped, as if the vehicle had never existed, as if something had lifted it into the sky. Then Ethan noticed it, a figure standing at the end of the dock. It was the man again this time. He wasn't watching, he was beckoning, one long arm raised, fingers curled. The lake behind him glowed faintly, green, as though lit from beneath by some unknown source. "Do not go down there," Priya said, but Ethan was already walking. "Ethan," Jenna yelled. "I just want to talk to him," he muttered, dazed. The others chased after him, but by the time they reached the dock, Ethan was gone, vanished. No splash, no sound, just the faint glow beneath the lake's surface, slowly fading, dimming like dying coals. They searched the water for an hour. No body, no bubbles, nothing. The next night was worse. The power went out just after sunset. The generator wouldn't start. The fireplace filled the living room with thick black smoke, choking them. Shadows stretched along the walls. Priya began to speak in a whisper, repeating, we invited him, over and over. Jenna slapped her. "What are you talking about?" Priya's eyes rolled upward. Her voice shifted like a second voice had joined hers beneath her own. "He was always here. We brought the light. He followed the glow." She collapsed. That night Jenna saw Ethan again, standing in the hot tub, soaking wet. His eyes were pitch black dot, and then she saw something rise behind him. Something impossibly tall, thin, leathery, its arms like vines, its head long and slick. It wrapped itself around Ethan's body and pulled him into the water with a hiss of steam. When Jenna screamed, Malik rushed in but saw nothing. By dawn, Priya was gone. Her bed empty, window open, a trail of water leading out to the woods. Malik and Jenna didn't speak. They sat on the dock, staring at the dead lake. Then Jenna saw something in the water, not a body, not a fish, a face smiling. The water glowed. Faintly green dot. Malik leaned closer, too close. A hand shot from the surface, grabbed his face, and yanked him under with such force the dot cracked. Jenna screamed his name until her voice gave out. No answer, only bubbles. She ran into the forest. She ran until night became morning, until morning became fog, until time meant nothing. But no matter how far she went, she always ended up back at the lodge. It was waiting for her with the lights on, with the hot tub bubbling with the green glow, humming like a siren. She stood at the door and wept because she knew there was no escape. The lake was not just water, it was a mouth, and the man, he was the voice inside it, the one who lures you close, with blank eyes and soft steps. You never know you've invited him until it's too late. And now, when people share that image online, the man standing near the deck, and again in the hot tub, always pale, always soaking, ask, who TF is this guy? But no one knows, no one ever will, unless he shows up in your photo next.